Well, after a little break here, about a week long, we are officially back. The Windy City Windup podcast has resumed. What's going on?
Not much. I would never say we were gone. It was just a little hiatus. We got busy schedules. You with basketball, me with school. Um, Actually, you know what? I want to redo that. I am not loud enough. I'm not hyped enough. I got new lighting. I'm not excited. I got to redo that. So just go back to where you started.
November 12th, here we are. Windup. A lot to talk about. We're back after a little short hiatus. Um, we're back and we're better than ever. What's going on, Maloney?
Not much, man. I was disappointed in our little hiatus. I love to produce content every day, every single day. Maybe I should write, maybe you should write. But nonetheless, we're back. We're ready to talk about a couple things. And I'm more excited than I've ever been. I love what we're doing right now. No matter if we have our footing or not, we're good to go. And actually, I have a treat for you. I opened this and it's not cracked yet.
What's your
Got a little,
for dinner tonight?
I had a little Panda Express.
Okay.
So I opened up the fortune cookie, but I didn't crack it yet. So let's try this here. I want to see what this fortune will be. I would love to see this actually. I want it to be like a good thing for the windup tonight. I wanted to kick off the windup, so it'll give me some good fortune. So we got an attractive visitor will bring joy to your home. It might be backwards, but an attractive visitor will bring joy to your home. And I think they may be talking, since we're on the windup, they may be talking about UP.
I mean, I am in your house. I don't know if I fit the attractive role, but I am in your house. Kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're on I don't know what you call it. We're on webcam. We're recording the windup. You are in my home. I'm in your home.
In a non-creepy way.
Yes, exactly.
So, what are your lucky numbers?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Give me 24.
Oh man, no, nothing. No lucky numbers at all.
That's not
Is Panda Express a real Chinese place? I mean, if you don't get lucky numbers in your fortune cookie, no.
that screams no to me right away.
Mm-hmm.
No lucky numbers. What a knockoff.
That's pretty messed up. If I get a fortune cookie, I want a decent fortune, and I need my lucky numbers. If I don't get my lucky numbers, it's not a real fortune cookie. Therefore, you're not a real Chinese place. End of story.
Unbelievable. So, what do we got here? A little high school football?
Yeah, we'll start off the 11th with some high school football. This past weekend, Marion Central Catholic traveled and was hosted by Joliet Catholic Academy, the Hilltoppers. And my prediction is pretty far off. Everything turned out like it did in the regular season. Joliet Catholic is big, man. They're big, very large. I mean, it's cliche to say, but in football, everything starts up front. And for the Hilltoppers, it all starts in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line, they're very, very large. And that pretty much guarantees them 5 yards a pop. Every play is 5 yards. It's hard to compete with. It's hard to adjust.
There's not much you can do. There's not much coaching, Dan Sharp's a great coach. Mike Maloney, I think, is an excellent coach. I know he listens to this, obviously, and he's your brother, but I can just tell he definitely has a sideline presence that you can see from the stands. And his coaching staff and his players, you can just see that he's teaching them the right things, coaching them. But you just can't do anything when they line up 6'4", 6'5", 250, 300 pounds, and they crush you off the line. not much you can do. You can't teach size. You can't coach size. So
No, absolutely not. It's harder. It's really hard to compete with. The game went pretty much as expected. One thing, well, I mean, two things from the game. First, their running back from Marion Central, Emmett, stud. You get the ball in that kid's hands, he'll make plays. He did that against JCA. He did that all year long. That kid is going to be really good. I don't know if he's trying to play at the next level, but that kid is really good. Two, JCA late in the fourth quarter, I think it was like 12 seconds left on their own 2-yard line. They take the snap and they just run out of the back of the end zone, take a safety. That was all Dan Sharp. Very class move by Dan Sharp. Taking the safety so Marion Central could get a couple more snaps for the seniors who may or may not have played all year. That was a nice move by Dan Sharp towards my brother, and that just goes to show, like, my brother and Dan Sharp have a very good relationship, and for him to do that, it was really cool. And talking to my brother after the game, it was really nice to see and hear about, and it was a cool experience, even though it didn't turn out the way that I wanted. I love that relationship and how it works.
yeah, it was a good game and definitely a good experience for just about everyone involved, even the losers. Obviously, the winners are going to move on, but I think it's good for Marion Central's program. I think it's good for Mike. He deserves the success he's getting. So
Definitely, he's worked his ass off, and he's been through it all.
There's more coming. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Watch out. Next year,
Good stuff.
the year after.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, then that brings JCA at NAS Saturday at 1. I probably won't be there. I'll try to keep up to date if it's not on the Cube. It'll probably be a really good game. It'll be interesting to see who moves on to the playoffs. And then, I don't know, is Montini in the same bracket? I know they're number one seed, whatever bracket they were. But I think JCA is really hard to compete with this year. And
Montini's 6.
Oh, they got moved up?
Yeah, because they kept winning, like, the success factor or whatever, I think.
Yeah. So if JCA beats NAS, then this is the year for Joliet Catholic. This is the year that they're going to win the state title.
I think they could get it too. They're big up front, got good running backs, and Jaws, man. Jaws is a gamer. He's really got that feeling. Can't say enough about Jaws.
You mentioned my brother on the sidelines. Watching Jake Jaworski on the sidelines is incredible.
Makes you want to run through a wall.
Yeah, exactly. He just gets you fired up. It's awesome. It's awesome to watch. I love coaches like that.
Yeah, I miss being in like a dugout with him, just competing with him as my coach. It's awesome. Too much energy, so electric.
Exactly. It's the best.
Yeah.
So from there, we will move on to some more national news rather than state news. We will go on to baseball, and the big news story for me and maybe you, the White Sox have named Ricky Renteria as their bench coach.
Former
Cubs manager. And now he is the bench coach for the Chicago White Sox in 2016. I like the move. I definitely like the move. If this is the offseason splash, then I don't love it. But Ricky Renteria is a great coach. He did really, really well at the Cubs. Really well.
Yeah. I mean, with what he had, he kind of got the short end of the stick. He didn't give anyone to work with and knew they were all coming up. And right when they all came up, you go for Joe Madden. It makes sense, but still kind of feel bad for the guy. But
yeah, I mean, if there was no Joe Madden, I think Rick Renteria is still the manager of the Cubs. I don't think there's a question about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say looking back at it now. But maybe it'll do good for the Sox. Help him out in some ways.
I think he'll do just fine. Just a switching it up, and anything for the Sox, just a change in any position will do well for the Sox. And Rick Renteria is great. So I like the move. Can't complain about that. And then we can move on to we can make some predictions here, Ryan. We can do some 2015 MLB award predictions if you'd like.
Yeah, real quick before we get into that, I just wanted to go through some of the Cubs offseason stuff real quick since we touched on the Sox.
Right.
There's been a little talk about obviously who they're going to sign. There's a bunch of reports that David Price is saying the Cubs is his number one option as long as they can give him the money. That being said, the Cubs have, like Theo said, that he's willing to spend obviously a lot of money, but he wants to kind of space it out over a lot of players rather than giving huge deals to one or two players. So David Price wants to be here, it sounds like. Obviously, Theo wants him here, but, you got to make sure the money's right. I've heard a lot of things about Cubs signing like two solid pitchers, like a Jordan Zimmerman and possibly a Tim Lincecum.
John Lackey.
Yeah, he's another one too. Like him and Lincecum would be like Lincecum and Zimmerman. I've heard those names being thrown around a lot. Like a good, not an ace necessarily from a different team, but a good veteran guys that you need late in the season and in the playoffs. People like that. And then I've also heard a couple position players thrown around. Alex Gordon, his name has been popping up a lot from the Royals.
I've heard his name thrown around. Alex Gordon for the Sox as well.
Ben Zobrist has been up there. And then the Cubs, a lot of people are saying the Cubs are going to go after Jason Hayward. They really want him in town. I just don't know. I mean, if they sign any position player, someone's going. It's either going to be Schwarber, Soler, someone's going. Someone's going if they sign. So it would be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. Theo knows what he's doing. Theo knows what he wants. So
now I can compare this to the White Sox offseason of last year. Like, there's so many big names out there to throw around, and there's a lot of money to be spent. Keep your expectations low. Wait for the big name to be signed, and then go nuts after. David Price scares me. If David Price gets signed by the Cubs,
he doesn't scare me for the regular season. He scares me for the playoffs. He can't pitch in the playoffs.
He scares me no matter what. If there's a rotation of John Lester, Arrieta, David Price, I'm not having very many happy days during baseball season.
No, we just gotta. We just need bullpen though. That's a big thing. We need back end of the rotation guys and bullpen. So that's what. If I was Theo, that's what I'd be going for. I like Zimmerman, Gio Gonzalez, someone like that maybe. But.
See, I wouldn't be mad if I was a Cub fan. I would not be mad if they didn't sign David Price and they settled for like a Lackey or and anybody else. Just cheap but reliable. Because you kind of blew your load with John Lester, and you got to pay him that money. So it's really tough to sign another big name to a huge contract, and then even try to go after Jason Hayward. Maybe you do have the money to spend, but it could hurt you very bad in the future.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be both Price and Hayward. It'd probably be one or the other, if either. Both of them, they don't have enough room to spend money, but. We'll see.
Right.
Looking forward to it. That'd be awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would touch on more Sox, but there's nothing. There's nothing. It's just Ricky Renteria, man. So
yeah, let's get into the awards then.
So let's do some predictions. We'll start with Rookie of the Year and who you think will win Rookie of the Year. The AL candidates are Carlos Correa from the Astros, Francisco Lindor from the Indians, and Miguel Sano from the Twins.
I mean, I gotta guess it's gonna be Correa. Most popular guy. Everyone talks about him. He had a hell of a year. Astros go to the playoffs. 1 win away from the NLCS. I mean, I know that doesn't go into it, but just I think he had a good year. So I think
Yeah,
he's gonna win for
I
sure.
I would agree. I think Correa is going to walk away with the Rookie of the Year for the AL. Correa, he's had a hell of a year, and since the Astros made the playoffs, hell of a playoff. I mean, that kid made a name for himself. He's gonna be a name for a long time, along with these other guys. The other guys, Lindor, solid, very very solid. Sano might be the franchise center fielder for the Twins for a very very long time, and it's scary. Two of the three Rookie of the Years come from the AL Central.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
That's not good for the White Sox. Not good. You got Sano from the Twins. Torrey Hunter just retired. Sano just steps in so he can just hit bombs at the White Sox. Lindor at the Indians. It's not looking good for the future for the White Sox, but these kids are good. Very, very good.
Yeah. What do we got in the NL?
NL Rookie of the Year. The candidates are Chris Bryant from the Cubs, Matt Duffy from the Giants, and Jung Ho Kang from the Pirates.
Yep, that's Chris Bryant, probably unanimously.
I would also agree. Chris Bryant is going to sprint away with this award.
Yeah.
Matt Duffy, I will admittedly say that I have not seen enough of him. I'm not familiar with what he's done. Jung Ho Kang Kang.
Oh, Young or something? Yeah, I don't know.
He's good. He's good. He's real good. Young.
Duffy's really good. I saw him a lot. I saw him 2 times in person this year against the Cubs, a couple times on TV. He's good. If it wasn't for Bryant, he'd definitely have the MVP. And he was tied with Bryant with RBIs for a lot of the year.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no question. It's going to be Correa from the AL, Bryant from the NL.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Manager of the Year. For the American League, we have Jeff Bannister for the Rangers, AJ Hinch for the Astros, and Paul Molitor for the Twins.
This is a tough one, too. This is kind of like the Cy Young, which we'll get into later. Rangers really didn't have a great first half of the year, but they had a good second half, so Bannister's name is thrown around. But then you got AJ Hinch with the Astros, who had a really good year all year. So I got to go with AJ Hinch probably with the Astros.
All right. I'm going to go. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the public consensus is here, but I'm going to go with Paul Molitor from the Twins. They didn't make the playoffs. No, they didn't make the playoffs. Astros made the playoffs. Rangers made the playoffs. I think what Paul Molitor did with the Twins this year was incredible. Nobody saw what they did coming, and they made a run at the division. They had a legitimate chance to win the division. They're up there in the wild card till the last day of the season. I think Molitor has a legitimate chance to win Manager of the Year. All 3 candidates are very worthy.
Agreed.
Moving on to the NL. National League candidates are Terry Collins from the Mets, Joe Maddon from the Cubs, and Mike Matheny from the Cardinals.
Oh, this is tough again. Like I kind of said with the Rangers guy, Collins didn't do really much of anything in the beginning of the year. Got a lot of criticism. Had a good second half, obviously, and good run to the World Series. Matheny, I hate the Cardinals, but you can't argue with his results lately. And then obviously Joe Maddon. I got to go with my home guy. I got to go Joe Maddon.
I can understand that. And not being biased at all, I'm going to go against you again. I got to go with Terry Collins from the Mets. It's just another one of those. It's like Molitor. Like, nobody saw this coming. Maybe more from the Mets. They made a run, and he did very well up until late in the playoffs. Maybe he got outmanaged a little bit, but I like Terry Collins to win Manager of the Year for the National League.
Fair enough.
And then we'll move on to the Cy Young. And we'll start out with the American League. I know you want to get on the National League, but we'll start off with the American League. We will go with the American League, and the candidates are Sonny Gray from the Oakland A's, Dallas Keuchel from the Houston Astros, and David Price from the Detroit Tigers and Toronto Blue Jays. And we're frozen, it looks like. Uh-oh. Petey? Here we go, Pete. We are very frozen right now. I don't know if the show is still going on. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know. I guess we're still live. We just froze very, very hard. I don't know what the next step here is. We've never frozen this bad before. I don't know if we're still live. I'm texting PD to see if we can get back and possibly cut out this huge chunk where we're still going, but we're not. So we'll figure this out, I guess. Texting PD. See what happens here. Hopefully we don't have to redo this entire thing because that would be very, very bad. Not trying to do this entire thing over again. Damn. Haven't had this and we haven't had freezing problems in a while. Let's see here. How do I invite people? Great. I don't know how to invite you. Nothing. Oh man, this sucks. Control room. Nope. This is you gotta join. You gotta figure out a way to join again. Because this is all under your, it's when I click on, you are in a moderated video call. Like I'm not running it, so you gotta figure out a way to join again. Damn, this fucking sucks. Okay.